Howdy, welcome everyone to the Ed's Metalworks. This is a kind of a mix of a few videos that I have taken over the work on my little giant power hammer. I hope you can follow along. We're not real good at editing yet, but I like to get them posted, let you guys know what's happening. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know, this may not be in a real logical order, but hopefully all informative. We'll get better at this as time goes on. Anyway, thanks for watching, and enjoy the video. Hi everyone. Well, this is a recap of the little giant Repower final. I know I kind of felt like I left everybody hanging and myself hanging after the failure of that 1 horsepower Harbor Freight motor on this little giant power hammer. It was quite disappointing at the time, but a little more internet searching and of course a little bit more money for a bigger motor. But I went to Grizzly's website. They have a pretty nice selection of electric motors. It's kind of, I don't know, I found it a little bit hard to find a 1725 motor. You know, there's a lot of them in the half horse range, but seems like the more horsepower you get, they all want to be that 3600 or whatever. But anyway, I found a 2 horsepower at Grizzly, and it happened to be back ordered. So I called Grizzly's technical line, and they gave me a delivery date, or they said the next possible delivery date would be end of October. So I didn't want to wait that long. They wouldn't guarantee that where they'd be in or not. So with the help of that technical person I was talking to on their technical department, we found this an 1.5 horse motor that was in stock. So from what I've read about these power hammers, they don't mind being overpowered, but you can't underpower them. And this one, through the technical paper I found, requires a 1 horse. So, but the 1 horse from Harbor Freight did not run it. So we got a 1.5 horse now. I'll show you what we got. We got a 1.5 horse from Grizzly. This motor has a start capacitor and a run capacitor. It's not intended for an air compressor, and it's rated for continuous duty. I'll show you the little bit of paperwork I got on it. This is what came with the motor from Grizzly. Got a little bit of a parts description if you need parts. Of course, on the back side, the wiring diagram for 110, 220, clockwise or counterclockwise. But anyway, we got her on there. Best part about it is I didn't have to modify anything because it's the same 56 frame as the 1 horsepower from Harbor Freight, so that was nice. It also it's tow enclosed, fan cooled, which is good, I guess. So anyway, in the meantime, while I was waiting for that motor, I fabricated a new connecting rod here for the foot clutch control. I had a couple rod ends that I'm using and put a slight bend in it here for belt clearance. We'll have to see how that works, but anyway, this is what was on there. Pretty hacked up design, but it must have ran for years that way. Anyway, we got us a new one. I got a little footage on making this too. I'll show you with this video. But whoops. Anyway, it runs her pretty good. I'll go ahead and fire it up once and give you guys a test run. I did have a little trouble with belt tensioning and belt alignment, but with these flat belts, that's, I guess, to be something that always happens. But anyway, we'll get you set over here and fire it up once. I'm not gonna move this light a little bit, but kind of blinding the video there a little bit, but I'm not going to run it a whole lot where I'm sitting because it needs a footing under it. This cement isn't by no means thick enough for it, but we're going to move off the cement, put a new footing, off the current cement, put a new footing out here somewhere. But we'll fire it up and hit it a couple times and show you what we got. I'm just hitting a piece of hot roll, half by half bar stock. As you can see, I've tested a little bit. It hits pretty hard. I'll have to get used to that foot control. But here's what we got. Anyway, it's doing a good job on cold material, so I'll have to get used to it hitting something hot and see how it works. I do have a little bit of technical information on this that I found on the internet, so I'll have to go through and check all the settings, the die spacing and the clutch setting. I don't know how. I think they're in good shape, but I don't know for sure. But I think we have a successful repower on this. Like I said, there's websites out there that sell you a new repower kit that the motor mounts up high here, and you can just run V-belts, a V-belt sheave on the motor and V-belts on this flat pulley up here. But I thought we'd keep it looking halfway original with mounting the motor down low. Little did I know that I'd get a little bit of education on electric motors, at least the Harbor Freight version. Thank you for joining me on this. It was a good little project. We had some trial and error, but in the end, we got a good running machine now. Just got to put it on a footing so that I don't ruin the concrete I do have. But the footing diagram calls for a 22-inch deep footing, so it must need some good support. Anyway, thanks for joining along, and we'll see you on the next one. Well, another little modification we're going to do to the Little Giant power hammer. This here is the original control rod for the clutch pedal. Anyway, it's pretty well hacked together, bent every which way, just a bolt going through the end. We're going to make this better just because we can. Not that this old rod didn't work, but it kind of rubs on the belt a little bit at the top here. So I'm going to make me a new straight one. We got a adjustable knuckle in here, right hand thread, left hand thread. Same with this turnbuckle here. But got a couple of salvage rod ends that fit over there. We can make a 3/8 pin or a bolt to go through them. But we got to build some kind of sleeve. I don't have a 3/8/16 left hand die that I can thread that rod with to screw it down in this turnbuckle. So we're going to have to build some kind of sleeve that we can. I do have a tap that I can tap and run it down over here, and then we'll tap it right hand thread for this and we'll probably end up welding the right hand together so that we'll tap it and also weld it so that it will never pull out of there. But we'll have this, we'll have this much of this eyelet here. We'll cut the eye off, and we'll use those left-hand threads there for this turnbuckle thing. Okay, we'll continue with this. I'll get you some more video here in a second. Alrighty, here we go. We got a piece of 1/2 inch round stock here that we're going to make a sleeve for our connecting rod. One end's going to be right hand thread, the other end's going to be left hand thread to screw down over for that turnbuckle adjustment. So we'll tap and drill this in. We'll do the right hand thread first. So get a drill bit. .5/16 for the national course, 3/8/16. Yeah, I'm going about 1 inch. That'll be plenty. Everything. Alright, now we'll put her in back gear to keep from turning when I'm tapping that by hand. I'll do it by hand. This is quick for me. Put my little tap follower in the chuck here. Spring-loaded tap follower, that is. Alright, I'll run this in here. bottom. All right, we'll run a bottom tap in there. Blow that out a little bit. Alrighty. That'll be for the upper rod portion of that. Now I gotta cut it off and yeah, we're about an inch there, and turn it around, and we'll put some left-hand threads on the other side so that I can screw it onto that turnbuckle. Let me get this measured up and cut it off. We'll be right back. Alrighty, so I got about a 3-inch piece here. We'll just repeat the process on this other side for left-hand threads. Center drill it. inch on this left-hand side because I don't have a left-hand bottom tap. I only got a taper tap, so it'll give us a little more room for that taper to run down in this hole. Work around here. I do have some bigger left-hand taps that I use for tie rod ends and stuff on hot rods, but none of this smaller connecting rod type stuff. It'd be nice to have a set of left-hand dies, but let's work with what we got here. That's an inch. We'll go ahead and give it another quarter. An inch and a quarter deep there. All right, we'll get our left-hand tap. And we'll put our spring-loaded center in here to guide our tap handle. First we'll deburr and chamfer everything. Put her back in back gear to hold this. Left hand. Got to remember left hand. Turn on this all day and wonder why it ain't starting. Left hand. Like I said, if I had a set of left-hand dies, I could have avoided this step, but we'll make do. That's what's bothering these shops some days, just making do. I guess heaven would be a shop that has everything. If you believe in that kind of stuff. All right, I think that's good. Got us a good inch of threads in there. All right, we'll get back over here on the bench and see what we got to do now. All righty, now we got our sleeve made. We'll take and we'll cut this eye off of this so we can use this left-hand thread here. I'll just cut that off over here. Cut off wheel. Taper them first couple threads on there. Left hand. Yep. All right. That's screwed down in there already. Give me another nut. Nuts on here so I can screw this down in here good. All righty. Alright, like I said, we're probably gonna, I don't know, maybe I'll run a nut down on there, lock that on there, but the other end I think we'll weld on. We'll see. Left hand thread, gotta remember left hand. Alright, approximately right there. I got a mark on my bench how long this rod here is from end to end, 44 inches there. So I got the other end over the bench there. So we got an inch of sorry, you guys might not be able to see that. Okay, we got an inch of threads here. inside our little coupling tube. We're on our mark here. It's 44 inches center to center. So let's give this another inch for thread purposes. All right, we'll cut that off and get that threaded. Taper the end of that. Alright, got my 3/8/16 die loaded up here. Some oil. Got a good set of threads on there. Go get me a right hand nut. Here's basically our new connecting rod. I said I might weld these, I don't know. Don't know for sure. Looks like my length is I'm a little bit long here, so didn't thread in quite as far as I thought it would. So we're going to take we'll go ahead and cut a little bit off these threads here. We can't shorten that up a little bit. Sorry, you guys, I didn't know if I was leaving you behind or what. Yeah, let's see what we got now for a length. Still a little bit long. I don't have the rod right where I want it, or right where it is, right where it's the right length with all that adjustment. So we got here, we'll cut a little more off. I think we decided we're gonna go ahead and weld this on this end. Alrighty, see what we got for length now. Yeah, we're good now. Alright, think what we're going to do is we're going to weld this here, and we'll get another left-hand nut down here. But yeah, we're good on our length. Gives us some adjustment. We got quite a bit of adjustment in here if we need it. That one was working at 44 inches, so this should do. We'll go throw it on the machine before we do too much more and see what it looks like. We'll be back.